You may be wondering, Melissa, why are you holding a Barbie? Well, it's 2024, and to celebrate my first cake of the new year, I decided I wanted to make a cake that celebrates 2023. I was thinking about two big trends that happened in 2023, and immediately what came to my mind was the Barbie movie and the Taylor Swift Eras Tour. And then it just clicked in my head. Why not make a Barbie cake that looks like Taylor Swift? So I'm thinking of that Barbie style cake where they take the Barbie doll and stick it right in the center of the cake, and then the dress is the cake part. But it's going to look like Taylor Swift. The whole thing will be edible, and I'm going to dress her in an outfit inspired by the Taylor Swift Eras Tour. So I've got a little bit of a challenge ahead of me, turning Barbie's face into Taylor Swift. And considering how much people are obsessed with Taylor Swift, if she doesn't look like Taylor Swift, I'm expecting to get a lot of hate for that. So I'm gonna try and make it look just like her. My name is Melissa, I am an artist, I create cakes, sculptures, and a lot of other cool things. To begin, I'm going to be making a mold of Barbie's face. I'm using a food-safe mold that I bought on Amazon, linked in my Amazon shop. I press it onto my Barbie doll's face, ears, and just overlapping the hair slightly. I'll let that set for about 15 minutes while I mix together my skin tone in modeling chocolate. The mold has set, and it's left a perfect imprint of the Barbie doll face for me to work with. I'm filling in the whole mold with that nude modeling chocolate that I made, and I'll let this set in the fridge so it gets nice and firm and cold so I can easily peel away the mold. And I'm left with a pretty good replica of Barbie's face. There are some blemishes on the mold, some pieces that didn't fill in, but that's okay because I'm changing the whole shape of the face now to make it look like Taylor Swift. Taylor has deep set almond eyes, so I have to push back the eyes, make them a little bit wider. She has a pointed chin and a very defined jawline, so I have to bring out the whole jaw. Her lips are much more voluminous and have a very specific pout. I've always been scared of sculpting small faces like fondant figurines. It's always been such a challenge for me. So making all these tiny details and trying to make it look just like Taylor Swift was quite a challenge. The Taylor Barbie head is looking pretty good. I finished sculpting it. The hair is not done yet. I'm gonna add that once I put the head on the cake. And I don't know if it looks like, what? Okay, we'll pretend that didn't happen. Okay, I'm gonna put this down so it doesn't fall. But yes, the head is looking really good. I don't know if it looks exactly like Taylor, but as long as it captures her essence, I'll be happy. Now it's time to build up the rest of her body before I do the cake. Luckily, I just had some more mold material arrive from Amazon because I did not have enough to do the arms and the bodice. So I'm gonna move on to that and start to build up the body. Then I can add the cake and dress her. So let's keep going. I'm creating 3 molds for the body, and I'm starting with the center, which is the largest mold, just the front half, because I really don't need to spend time sculpting that body when I can get a perfect shape of it through the mold and just press that modeling chocolate into it, and then I can easily add the clothing on top of it. And same thing with the arms. I do not want to spend hours and hours trying to sculpt the tiny little details of those fingers and the arms, so my molds will give me the perfect replicas that I need and save me a lot of time. This Barbie has one arm straight out and one arm bent, which is perfect for my Taylor Swift Barbie cake because one arm I want laying straight out against her body, while the other arm is either going to be playing the guitar or holding a microphone. I'm adding a dowel into the center of the modeling chocolate body, so that way I can place it right on top of the cake when it's ready and it will stay in place. I'm just gonna clean it up a little bit and I make sure to keep it cold the entire time I'm working, otherwise it won't hold its shape. So for modeling chocolate, I want it nice and cold so that way the shape stays exactly the same and it's easier to work with as I'm sculpting it and cleaning it. Because the mold gives me some seams, I'm just using my X-Acto knife to smooth out all the surface on the arms. I now have a torso, arms, and head for my Taylor Barbie. So I'm going to paint her face now, and I'm happy about this because this is one of the most challenging parts of the cake is painting all that tiny detail on Taylor's Barbie face. So I'm happy I'm going to get this out of the way now, but I'm a little bit nervous because it's so much tiny detail and this is going to be a big determining factor to see if it looks like Taylor or not. So I'm just going to go for it and hope for the best. Because everything is so tiny, I have to use a tiny little bristle brush to make sure that I can keep everything nice and clean. I'm staring at a picture of Taylor's face as I'm painting to make sure this Barbie will look just like Taylor Swift. I'm making sure to get the accurate almond shape of her eyes and those beautiful mascaraed, voluptuous eyelashes. and defined eyebrows. And of course, I cannot forget her signature red lips and just a little bit of blush. Barbie Taylor does not need too much makeup. Since Taylor plays the acoustic guitar, I ordered this acoustic Barbie guitar, and I'm going to make a mold of this, and I think I'm going to add it onto the cake. I'll see at the end. I don't want it to block too much detail on the dress, but if it works out and it goes well with the final piece, I will add this on. So I made a quick mold of the guitar. By now I'm a molding master. And I want to make the guitar out of gum paste. To make the gum paste, I just take fondant and add some Tylose powder to it, and it's going to harden super, super firm, much harder than modeling chocolate. I let it harden for like a day and it holds its shape. It will not bend. It's very strong because of that Tylose powder added to the fondant. So I'm going to let that dry, and finally I can add some clothing onto this naked body of Barbie and make it look more like Taylor Swift. So all throughout the Eras Tour, Taylor's been wearing this beautiful sequined jumpsuit, and I just knew I had to make that the centerpiece for the top of her outfit. But before I can add any sequins, I need to add Taylor's head onto the Barbie bodice. And because I use modeling chocolate, I can very gently blend the seam from the top of the neck and the bottom of the neck to make it look seamless. Originally, I wanted to make Taylor's hair curly, but that's really older version of Taylor. The new Taylor has much straighter hair. I had to have so much patience to paint this face, and I wasn't sure if it was gonna look like Taylor, but I was pleasantly surprised that I'm definitely seeing the likeness of Taylor in this doll. I originally had her bangs more pushed to the side, but as I was adding the rest of her hair, it was looking a little bit too Princess Perfect. And Taylor in the Eras Tour really has straight bangs going down her face, a little bit parted. So I made a last minute decision to change the bangs to make it more of a now Taylor than an old Taylor. The only thing that's bothering me a little bit is maybe her hair is a little bit too tall, although it is proportionally correct. And she is a doll and they tend to have thicker hair. So I'm gonna leave it for now. It's time to move on to bedazzling her outfit, and then finally the cake. I ordered these metallic edible frosting sheets to make the sequins, and I'm using hole punchers to punch holes to make the shape of the sequins, but the big is too big, the small is too small, so I'm just gonna go with the medium size. And I don't have all of the colors of the sequins that I need, so I'm using luster dust and painting a white fabric sheet to make all of the shades that I want. And now I'm painting the shades for her purple ballroom skirt, which she also wore on the Eras Tour, that I'm going to be using the edible fabric to create. And I was not happy. It wasn't looking like Taylor. I had to go in and shorten those bangs. The hair was just too tall, made it a little bit shorter, and it already looks so much more like her. Back to the sequins, I'm using silver, pink, shades of purple, and a little bit of blue to match that sequin jumpsuit that she wears on the Eras Tour. And I just hole punch like crazy to get all of my different colors of sequins that I need. Now I can apply them onto the jumpsuit and bring it to life. I paint a thin layer of piping gel and take a pair of tweezers to individually place each sequin, looking at a picture of the jumpsuit to make it match perfectly. I'm about halfway done on Taylor's outfit right now, and I am obsessed with how this sequin look is turning out. It's like super sparkly and exactly what I wanted. And it's really looking like her outfit from the Eras Tour, and I think it's really looking like Taylor now. I had to go in, I couldn't stop myself. I had to change the bangs, and I think now it is much more Taylor Eras Tour. And now that I have all the fabric colored for the skirt, after I finish her outfit, I can finally build up that cake and add on the skirt. I'm hoping that the skirt and the top are going to match well together because I am taking two different outfits that she wore and then combining them. But I was very conscious of that as I was coloring the fabric sheets to make sure that it's a nice blend from top to bottom. I also have to paint the guitar, and then I'll attach that on with the arms. But let's get that dress done first. You may think I'm a little bit crazy spending all of this time individually placing sequin by sequin, but the way that it shines and sparkles makes it all worth it. Of course, Taylor has all different types of guitars, different colors and shapes that she uses in the Eras Tour, but I wanted to go acoustic, and I thought this blue guitar matched well with her outfit. Finally, it's time to add that cake. And this is like that classic Barbie cake moment, the way that we always see them built up. The skirt is just a whole pile of cake stacked up and carved out in the shape of a ballroom dress. So I'm matching that perfectly with a little bit of pink buttercream in the center to make it pop when I cut it. I'll give it a thin layer of ganache to hold its shape, and I can finally add the skirt on. I cut out strips of the edible fabric and pinched together the ends to make it look like a ruffled dress. How stunning does this dress look? I mean, it is shimmering, it's glowing. I am in love with how the edible fabric looks. I was a little bit nervous because when I painted it, it was a little bit streaky from the paint lines on the paintbrush, but I mean, it doesn't come through at all. It is just shimmering and glowing. I'm obsessed. I'm like, this is coming out better than I ever could have imagined. And it really has that same vibe of that ballroom purple gown that Taylor wore in her tour that the dress is based on. All that's left to do is add Taylor on, finish up her dress, and give her some arms. The more in love I become with the outfit I'm creating, the less I want to put the guitar on in the end because it's going to block some of it. But we'll see. I'm going to try it out and we'll see if it adds to it or takes away, and then make the final decision. So finally now, I'm going to finish her up and we'll do the big reveal. Before I add the final layer on the skirt, I need to add Taylor onto the cake, and I see there's a little gap between the bottom of the body and the top of the dress. So I fill that in with a little modeling chocolate, and now I can add the final layer. But the bottom of her body still wasn't matching up perfectly with the dress, so I added one more thin layer of the fabric on top, and now the body sits pretty perfectly up against that dress. And I'm super happy because the guitar does not end up taking away too much from the outfit. It actually complements it really well. Look how well that bent arm fits on the guitar, and I'm keeping it on the cake, and I love it. And here is the final reveal. Wow, I am so proud. This turned out, I think, better than I expected. I feel like I really captured that goal of creating a Barbie Taylor Swift doll. It's exactly what I wanted. I really feel like it looks like her and really is recognizable. The sequins and the skirt shimmer and shine as she spins just like I wanted, and the guitar ties it together so well. I can't believe it. I finally finished the Taylor Barbie cake. She looks awesome and I'm in love. And I'm putting her down so I don't drop her again. I'm really proud that the face captures Taylor's essence. I think it really kind of does look like her. And that was what I was most scared about with this cake. The outfit looks just like Taylor on tour at the Eras tour. So I'm so happy with it. The sequins worked out perfectly. I'm obsessed with the skirt, the volume, the way the fabric shines. Overall, I'm so proud of this cake. And normally I don't work on a cake for this long, but it has been a busy month. So I've been working on this cake on and off throughout the entire month. And it was supposed to be a New Year's cake. Now it's like a end of February, beginning of March cake. But you know what? It still celebrates 2023 for me. This cake just reminds me how much I love to challenge myself. So going forward this year, I want to come up with lots of cool cakes and art projects that are really going to push what I'm used to doing. If you've enjoyed watching, please give this video a thumbs up and don't forget to subscribe. Check out my YouTube membership or Patreon for full-length videos and lots of behind the scenes. Now, let's cut the cake. Wow, I think that was one of the best cake cuts I've ever done. And look how beautiful that pink looks inside the skirt. Ugh, I'm in love. See you in the next video.